this lesson, we're going to go over charts and diagrams. Charts and diagrams are tools you can use to visually represent the data in a worksheet. You can use them to show trends, averages, high and low points, and more. Not only do they make your worksheets more visually appealing, they also serve a definite function. They make it easier for your intended audience to sort out and understand the information you are presenting to them. This is especially true when dealing with data. There are many different kinds of charts available in Excel: pie charts, bar charts, line charts, even organizational charts. What's more, Excel provides you with several tools to help you create them. You'll find those tools under the Insert tab in the Chart group. Throughout this lesson, we're going to discuss how to create charts for your worksheets and workbooks. Even if you don't have any idea of how to work with charts right now, sit back and relax this presentation. By the end of this lesson, it'll all be very clear and easy to do. Chart recommendations. In prior versions of Excel, you had the chart wizard to help you create charts. That was a great tool and a great help, but Excel 2013 offers you something even better: the recommended charts tool. This is under the Insert tab on the ribbon in the Charts group, which is located here. We see this Charts group and we can click on Recommended Charts. Now currently it says recommendations are not available for the data you selected. Of course, this would make sense because there is no data in this chart. So to create a chart this way, first select the data you want to put into a chart. Include the labels and the data. So let's find a worksheet we can use. I think we have something here. We could use maybe monthly expenses. How does that look? That looks good. We'll use this as a chart. Okay, so we have our chart here, and we have our labels and all this stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the labels and the data that we want to create the chart from. So we've done that. And now we're going to go into the Insert tab and we're going to look at Recommended Charts. And under Recommended Charts, you can see it already tries to chart everything for us. And there's a lot of options here, and we just get to choose which chart we want to use. And we can place this chart really anywhere. And what's cool about this is, let's just get this down here. Let's actually call this something. So here we have, it decided to organize it here by items: car, rent, utilities, gas, groceries, entertainment, and then it did January, February, March as little bars, different color-coded bars. And of course, what's interesting is that it's directly tied to the data up here, so anything we change would automatically change on the chart down here, which is great. So if we decide to put a large number under cable for February, 900, we're going to see that pop up in the chart right here. So based on the data and the labels that you select, you can immediately create a chart. And this can save you a lot of time and headaches without having to create something yourself from scratch. Go ahead and open up another spreadsheet. Let's do cart revenue. And under cart revenue, let's select the data we want, and just briefly, let's look at what recommended charts it gives us. Very interesting stuff. And we can use any of those charts. But we'd like to go over the types of charts now. And to the right of the Recommended Charts button on the ribbon, Insert, right here, we have a bunch of icons, and you can see these buttons and their drop-down menus to create these types of charts and styles. We're going to go left and right. So the Insert column chart is this one. And you can use this chart type to visually compare values across a few categories. So if we click on that, it gives you an idea. Then the next type is the bar chart. And these are some of the styles that you have. The 3D one looks really neat. Then we have the Stock, surface, and radar charts. Interesting. So let's look at some of these options. Depending on how your data is organized, this may or may not work for you. Then we have the insert line chart here. Use this type of chart to show trends over time, years, months, days, categories. Actually, this is probably more along the lines of what we are using. There's a 3D version of it. Then we have the area chart, which is right here. Use this chart type to show trends over time. Again, very useful. This is how it would look with this data. Then we have the combo chart here. Use this chart type to highlight different types of information. Use it when the range of values in the chart varies widely or you have mixed data types. So. Again, depending on the data that you have, this could be useful to you. Then we have the pie or donut chart, which is right here. Self-explanatory about how that would look. Then we have the scatter XY or bubble chart, which is here. So again, it's pretty easy to create charts using the ribbon, depending on what you want to use. You could just highlight the data and the labels that you have, and then you could select from any of these charts. And we could do a 3D bar chart, and it's immediately created. You just place it anywhere in your spreadsheet. You can also create charts using the quick analysis tool. We've demonstrated this a little bit before, so you should be somewhat familiar with it. To use the quick analysis tool for creating charts, select the data you want to include in the chart, click the quick analysis tool button at the bottom right corner of the selected data. So this could be the data. Then we come here to the quick analysis tool, and we can select data bars, color scales, charts. We go to charts, and we can do a clustered column here. So let's just hang on to this for a second, and let's go over modifying and moving a chart. There are a number of ways to modify a chart after it's been made. You can right-click on the plot area. So here we could right-click here to change any of this information, including the chart type. Right-click over here to change this information. Right-click here to change some of this information, including deleting that. Perhaps that's not relevant to the chart. You can also move some of the elements in the chart, such as you want the chart title over in the top right corner. You can also move the entire chart by just grabbing and holding it and placing it somewhere else on the spreadsheet. The Design tab and customizing charts is important under Chart Tools. If you could come here, you can check out the styles here that we have, and you can get it just absolutely the way you want it to look. You can switch column and rows, change the data selections, change the chart types. Move the chart to another sheet, to a new sheet. Like, okay, we want that on its own sheet, and we're going to call that sheet Chart 2. This is Sheet 1, Chart 2. You can also customize the chart elements with the Chart Elements button. Again, if we go to the chart, which is here, and click here, we can click on this plus, and it tells us, oh, what are we going to include? What are we not going to include? The legends. So clearly there's a lot to be done when you create and customizing your charts. The possibilities are endless. It all depends on the type of chart you want and the data that you have. And it's very easy to create charts, and then once you create them, it's very easy to modify them so they appear exactly as you want them to appear. Another great tool is the organizational charts or diagrams that you can create using SmartArt. So let's create a New spreadsheet here. While an ordinary chart simply represents data and diagrams, an organizational chart explains the relationship between elements. The simplest way to create an organizational chart is to click on the Insert tab and then Smart Art. So let's do that. Insert tab, and then we find Smart Art under the Illustrations group here. And here we can select various types of chart hierarchies, but we're going to look for, and this looks like this is a pretty good, straightforward organizational chart. And now we can just do, CEO here, and then we can do vice president here, and maybe the next person would be like a director 1. And then we have a director 2 and a director 3. A little typo there. And that's probably the easiest way to create an organizational chart. And if you want to add additional items directly below, say, the top tier here, you could do add shape. You could say, what do you want to do? What kind of shape? And where do you want to add it? Below, add an assistant. So let's add an assistant there. And that actually didn't do exactly what we wanted, but that's okay. What we can do is we can click on this and select add shape, and then perhaps add an assistant to him. There we go. And so using these techniques, we could do, let's see, secretary. We can add an organizational chart this way. Again, very useful, very easy to do. You can create an organizational chart within a few seconds. Spark lines are a very interesting feature. I believe that first debuted in Excel 2010, and it's been a very popular feature of Excel. With a snap of a finger, it can be easily implemented. Let's go back to our cart revenue. Spark lines are a great tool, and the way we use that is we select the data that we want to show sparkline trends for. So we've selected this data, and we go under Insert tab, and we select spark lines, and then we determine which kind of spark line we want. In this case, we want a line spark line. Then it'll ask us to select the area where we want the spark lines to show up, and we click on OK, and then it shows us a little graph, a little line graph of all of the information, of the trending information that is in this range of cells that we selected. So as you can see, that's what it would look like as a line. And we can change the colors and stuff like that. You can also change it to be column or win-loss.